There are many unusual incidents in people's lives that cannot be explained, where there is no rational explanation for them, and are beyond the scope of normal scientific understanding. The premonition. In 1988, an Australian schoolteacher by the name of Jean Watson, who one morning had a terrifying dream. The dream looked like an old-fashioned movie, where everything appeared to be slightly out of focus and was in black and white. In a dream, she was viewing a young 3-year-old girl playing on some bars high above the ground, and the young girl was familiar as she was the daughter of one of her colleagues at school, and her name was Sally Ann. In this terrifying dream, Jean could see the young girl falling between the bars, and as she ran to rescue her, but instead of feeling the young girl in her arms, she only felt the sensation of wet cardboard and woke up in a sweat and panic. A few hours later at school, she still had the terrifying image of the falling child, and was still greatly disturbed by her dream. What made matters even stranger was that when she arrived at the school, Sally Ann was also at school playing, as her father had brought her with him and was looking after her till his classes began. Jean Watson then approached the father and told him to take extra care of his daughter because she had an extremely vivid dream about her falling down a grating. Jean also discussed what had happened to other teachers, as she felt the incident to be so real and immediate. Jean also spoke to a clerk by the name of Barbara Jones, who laughed about her disturbing dream and had not taken it seriously, and thought that it wouldn't happen. Barbara Jones would later play a major role in the drama that was about to unfold, when at around 11:30 a.m, when Sally Ann was still at the school, and Jean was now in an empty classroom with another teacher. Suddenly, the other teacher looked out of the window and saw Sally Ann playing and screamed out, "My God, that young girl is going to fall." Not realizing that her dream was now becoming a reality, Jean looked up at the teacher and believed another student was at the railings, as she could not see the girl from where she was sitting. Because it was a senior school, she believed the student the other teacher was looking at must have been a year 11 or 12 student. But when Jean stood up to look out of the window, she was shocked to see that it was not a senior student, but Sally Ann, who was in the safe arms of the school clerk, Barbara Jones. When Jean walked across to the clerk, she asked her what had happened, and Barbara Jones explained that she saw Sally Ann falling between the bars, but had not completely fallen, as she'd caught her foot between the railings. And if she'd not been standing close by to grab the young girl, she would definitely have fallen to her death on the hard ground below. It appears that Jean Watson's dream had come true, except that it was not her who had attempted to save the child, but another person. How is it that Jean Watson had had a premonition about a possible tragedy, and when she herself was not involved in the actual incident? The spectral warning. The following incident took place on May the 12th, 1991, on a quiet road in country Victoria, Australia, at around 1:15 a.m. in the morning. A young man by the name of Tom Ridley was driving at night and knew the area well as he was a local. Tom was feeling tired and wanted to get home in a hurry and started to drive at an extremely fast speed. As Tom was speeding along, something ahead at the side of the road caught his attention. Suddenly, on the side of the road was a man frantically waving his hands and appearing to be warning him to slow down. However, the man did not look like a normal person, but instead appeared to be a ghostly figure. As he looked to be transparent, he could see straight through him. At this stage, Tom rubbed his eyes, believing it was just his imagination, but whatever the case, it made him slow down. Tom then turned his head to look back, where the ghostly figure was still present and waving his arms about. Totally confused, the young man continued his journey home, but at a slower speed. As he approached the crest of a hill, he noticed some flashing lights up ahead, and as he drew closer, he realized that he had come upon a serious road accident. Tom could see 2 seriously damaged vehicles, but no sign of life, as the police shone torches and waved him on, no doubt waiting for the ambulance to arrive. Tom arrived home safely, but was unable to sleep as the ghostly figure was replaying in his mind. The ghost and the deadly accident scene continued to play on his mind for the next few days. However, the frightening incident would go to a whole new level when he picked up the local newspaper and read about the fatal car crash, and inside the paper was a photograph of one of the victims of the fatal accident. Tom then looked at the photo and felt that he knew who the person was, but could not work out where he'd seen him. Then all of a sudden it came to him, and he realised that the man in the photo was the same ghostly entity that he'd seen waving at him at the side of the road. It took a few minutes to realise what had really happened that night when the man was waving at him. The man's name was Brian Johnston, and he had been killed in a car accident around 1 a.m. in the morning, and Tom had seen him about 50 minutes later at around 1:15 a.m. If Tom had continued at his fast speed, he would definitely have collided with the other vehicles at the accident scene, as well as killing the police officers along with himself. The ghostly figure, who had only recently been killed himself, was warning Tom to slow down, as he could see another fatal accident waiting to happen.